So once again, this is not the video I had started out building or putting together, but this is what we got. And yes, you can build a brand new gaming PC for $500 or give or take $10, $20. So the $500 is not an exaggeration, and I'll go ahead and throw up a parts list here for you and kind of let you know what I've got in it, what's going on, and the pricing that is available right now to get these parts. They're all brand new parts. They all are in stock or available or some form of fashion within a few dollars. There is nothing here. There's no bait and switch like, oh yeah, well I put this in, but you can only get it for this now. None of that stuff. All this is available now for similar pricing. You might be able to save a little bit here, save a little bit there. So we'll kind of go through this a little bit. It starts with a case, the GSkill LT1 case. I found out some other things. I've got a video on this case that I'll go ahead and link, but I found out some other things that I really do like about this case. The front comes off for easy access to the fans. There's a grill, or the grill comes off, and then there's a screen in there. It was very easy to put fans in here. Fans are not on this parts list. $15 will buy you a set of 3 fans, depending on what you want. That's highly customizable. That's RGB. That's up to you. Does not seriously impact the price of this build, though. So I didn't put it on there, but I mean, you're welcome to add that into the price. And so maybe it's another $15. Okay. The fans I got, by the way, PC cooler. There's a 3-pack, and I believe they were $12 or $13 on Amazon. Available all day long for under $15 if you want just to get a simple set of 3 fans. In any case, this case, love the English language. In any regard, this case, I was able to put 2 fans in the front, 1 in the back. You can easily put 2 more fans up in the top. A lot of room to build in this case overall. I do like the fact that on the front of it, you can go ahead and take the part that covers the power supply basement. You can take that off. There's plenty of room for cable management. On the back as well is very easy to cable manage, and they even throw in Velcro straps. They're branded Velcro straps. They say GSkill on them, which I thought was pretty cool. But usually you're not going to see them because they're in the back. But I don't know. It was very easy to route cables. Very easy to build in this. I liked a lot of the features of this case. Very happy with it, and it's available for $60 on Amazon. I have seen a trace of it here or there on Newegg, but by the time I went back and clicked on it, I couldn't find it. Amazon constantly has a couple in stock here or there. $60. You can get other cases. Most of the time when I buy a case, it's in the $60 to $70 range. So for $60, you can get yourself a decent case. Do not buy that pink monstrosity behind me. I found that on Newegg Business. That was on sale for $60, and it is not worth the metal that it took to make it. But we're going to fix that later, probably this winter or maybe early spring. The motherboard, you can get a little bit more, a little bit less. It depends on which motherboard you get. I went with a B560. It's an Asus Prime B560M, I think it is. It is $115. I found it anywhere from $95 to $120. So I went near the top of that. $115 was what I readily found available on Amazon for. So that's the price I put in here. RX 480. Although the RX 480 is not necessarily available, this is still not a bait and switch. There are a lot of RX 580s, the upgrade to this version, which performs a little bit better, and they're highly available. There's a lot of them available anywhere from $89 to about $130 on Amazon and Newegg both. So that's not a bait and switch. $130 will buy you an RX 580. It might be a slightly downclocked version of the original 580, but it's still going to perform as well as the RX 480, and we're going to show you the performance numbers in just a little bit here when we get to it. 16 gig of DDR4 memory running at 266. This is an off-brand, and I went to try to save a little bit of money. The brand is Levin. It's their Larry selection or whatever. Don't do that. Spend the extra $5. So what, you got $5 in here? So it's total, including the fans, of $20 extra. So $525 so far. In any case, memory kits are coming down. You can buy an 8 gig kit if you want to, pretty cheap, or 16 gig kits are coming down to the $33 to $39 range. Easily, you should be able to pick something up on sale, especially this time of year. Pick something up on sale for $35. So we're still good with that price. The NVMe drive, this drive was actually usually about $29. It was on sale for $23, I think it was. 512 gig SSD, NVMe drive. You can go with the 256 if you want and save a few more dollars. See, goes the other way as well. So 30 bucks is what I estimated on this. There are several power supplies that you're not going to get the top of the line power supply for $45, but you can get something out of EVGA's B stock. You can get Thermaltake. You can get the one I've got there, which is an Aries Gaming. I think it's either 500 or 550. There's a lot of these power supplies that, even though they're not going to be the best, they will get you started. And for the amount of power that we're going to draw through this PC with an i3 and an RX 480 or equivalent, you're not going to be drawing a lot of money, or not going to be drawing a lot of power, and it's not going to be as critical. So you should be in really, really good shape, even with a less expensive power supply. Don't buy something completely off-brand you've never heard of just because it's on sale for $23. There are a lot of those that are out there. Don't do it. Spend at least the going rate, or what you see as an average of power supplies in about that range. That's what you want to be spending. And I found a bunch of these between $500 and $600 for between $40 and $50. So 45 is a good medium right in there. And I believe this one, I think, was actually $43 or something. I don't remember. And then finally, the Intel i3. This one happens to be a 100 or 10105F. You can find 10100s. You can find, a bunch of stuff down in this range. These processors you can find anywhere from like $78 to about $90, $92. So there again, we're right in that range. All these parts listed together, you can see, was $505. If you've got something like Amazon Prime or Newegg where they offer free shipping, the shipping's not going to cost you anything. The tax might cost you a little bit depending on where you live, but still, parts for this build, $500. You can't beat that. But you're thinking, Paul, how does it game? Well, I'm glad you asked, because usually I take 10 or 11 games and I try to step up or get a newer version of the game when it's available and stuff like that. But I also try to make sure I still benchmark the older version. In this case, I'm benchmarking Far Cry 5, even though I don't normally show it anymore, and Forza Horizon 4, even though I don't normally show that anymore. I still do benchmark it because I've got older tests that I go and I compare it to. Say in this case, I also tested the RX 480 along with 11400, and I did it with the, I believe it was a Ryzen 3600. So I've tested it with a couple of CPUs. I want to see how it compares to those as well. And some of those older tests weren't done with all the newer games. So that gives me an opportunity to have to go back and retest some of that stuff. The 10 or 11, I believe it's 10 I've got down here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Borderlands 3, Far Cry 5 and 6, Forza Horizon 4 and 5, Cyberpunk 2077, we did World War Z, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So you can see those listed on the left-hand side, and you can see that at 1080p high, we've got really close to 60 frames per second in almost every game. It's between 50 and 60 or more in every single game except for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was 47, and then Horizon Zero Dawn, the great equalizer, just under that at 54. Now, if you're playing Horizon Zero Dawn at 54 frames per second, it's a pretty good experience still, okay? It's not bad at all. But if you decide, okay, I'm willing to take a little bit of a quality hit and play it on medium instead, you see that everything goes above 60 frames per second. Everything. Forza Horizon and World War Z both go well over, well, not well over, but they both go over 100. Everything else is over 70, pretty much over 70. The only thing not, of course, is Cyberpunk. But Cyberpunk on medium at 56 frames per second, not a horrible experience. And the game still does look pretty good. Now, you're not going to be running ray tracing and all that stuff on this, but that GPU doesn't run ray tracing anyway. It's an older GPU. But still, to get close to 60 frames per second in a game like that that's sort of a backbreaker with a 4-core, 8-thread processor, that's not a bad deal at all. And you're thinking, this is a $500 system. This system can still be upgraded. You can put a higher core 10 series CPU in there. You can put an 11 series CPU in there. You can also, because that motherboard will be able to take either one of them. And there's a step up as well, because if you're using 11th gen, you also get to take advantage of PCIe 4 instead of the 10th gen only doing PCIe 3. That means your NVMe drive will go a little bit quicker, and in some cases your GPU, if you have an AMD GPU that relies on that bus speed, it might work a little bit better as well. you can upgrade the processor. You can always upgrade the GPU later. The power supply, there's plenty of room in that basement to be able to move back and forth. You can always upgrade and put more drives in. This case has room for at least 2 more SSDs on the back panel where all the wiring is. So you got plenty of room there. You can put more case fans. You can do pretty much whatever you want inside this build, and it gives you a lot of room to be able to upgrade things. This could very easily be $1,000 or $1,100 system. It doesn't have to be that, because if you're looking to play AAA titles, fairly recent AAA titles, at a good pace, $500 is really all you need. And I never thought I would have said that, say, a year ago when the GPU pricing was still crazy and stuff like an RX 480 or RX 580 was still getting, $250 or $300, and that's just way too much. $130, that's a pretty decent deal. And like I said, those RX 580s, they're available for $130, and it looks like they're available all day long. I don't know for how long, but they also do have current support with all the drivers from AMD, so you'll be in pretty good shape there as well. Overall, I think for a budget-minded system, something you're not trying to break the bank on, you're trying to get your foot in the door, you don't have to go out. I think I've already shown also that if you're getting an older Optiplex and you're trying to upgrade it with a few things, you're going to spend between $300 and $400 on that. For $100 more, you can get a brand new system, all brand new parts, all of parts that are available right now. And, it's upgradable, and it's something you can actually build on and improve on, and it will play all the modern titles. Game not listed here. I always benchmark CSGO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I didn't fit it on the chart because the frames per second, the FPS on that are well over 200, and it kind of skews my chart where everything else is nicely grouped, and that's way higher. So your esports titles you're going to do very, very well on the esports titles. I'd imagine that Apex Legends and some of these other ones, Fortnite and all that, are going to get well over 100 frames per second without any problem. And if all you're doing is looking for an esports gaming rig, this is by far a no-brainer. I mean, $500, yeah. And I've got a feeling you're going to see a lot of people coming out with more and more builds that are $400, $500, or $600 that have some really, really good parts in them. So that's all I got for this time. This is not the video I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to do a follow-up on building inside this case, or I thought the next move was going to be showing you guys, well, the games are available to me in 4K and how the gaming rig in the living room does at 4K, and I haven't finished that. And as I was building in this, I realized, wait, this is actually a budget-type gaming PC. Maybe that's a better video than showing you how to build in that GSkill LT1. Don't get me wrong, I like this case. I like this case a lot. It has a lot of features, and it's got a lot of good stuff in it for $60. So there may or may not be another one of these that show up. I definitely say that Maycube that's sitting over there behind me, right there, yep, that one right there. You'll probably see that again, because I might order one of those in black or another one in white. Yeah, there's going to be some other stuff coming up, but for the time being, this LT1 made a great build, very easy to put everything in, a lot of room, and this thing just, like I said, for $500, all these parts are available, and it makes a really, really good gaming PC, especially to start with. So if you set your expectations, 1080p does a masterful job. It also does pretty well at 1440p, but that's not what we were looking here. We're looking at a budget thing, and we're trying to look and make sure that we're getting 60 frames per second at 1080p. And for the very most part, it does that. So that is all I have for right now. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm trying to hit 600 by the end of the year. I hope I can do it. I'm not that far away. With you guys' help, I should be able to. Don't forget to visit me on the other socials. I'm trying to build some other stuff out. I'm trying to make sure that I stream once a week and that I put videos on the gaming channel at ThatPaulGuyGaming. The reception there has been pretty good so far, but it's been a little slow moving, as has this lately, and I understand. But the only other thing I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing I ask you at the end of every video, and that's just be good to each other. Be nice, smile, wave, hold the door open, greet somebody, tell them good morning, something, anything. Just be good to each other, okay? Especially this time of year, but any time of the year. If we were a little bit nicer to everybody, if everybody was a little bit nicer to each other, this world would be a little bit better place, wouldn't it? that is all I have. So until next time, when I find myself getting into yet some more trouble, I'll see you later.